Hey, what's going on, Luke? And I feel like I start a lot of these videos off quite energetic and I go through the intro and that sort of stuff, but we're not going to be doing that today. We're just going to be getting right into the meat and potatoes of this video. Now, I've kind of been reflecting on the New South Wales loss. That's obviously the topic of this video. The title, much like I did for Game 1, is Why New South Wales Lost State of Origin. I've had enough time to sort of reflect. I'm recording this after I finish work and been thinking about it all day. I've been listening to a lot of people's opinions and sort of trying to get a grasp of my own ones. Now, I went into Game 2, like, I would say majority of New South Wales fans. Like, I don't get it twisted. I don't think New South Wales fans actually thought we're going to win this one. After we lost Game 1, it was very evident, especially considering the side and, players out and, Joel not being there and Queensland just playing at Suncorp. Like, they don't lose at Suncorp as it is, let alone with losing some of the best players. So, look, it was definitely going to be a big task. I sort of set myself up for no disappointment, and yet I sit here a very disappointed New South Wales Blues fan. And I don't even know, New South Wales Blues fan is kind of pushing at this point. Last night's game was the first game I've turned off in a long time. That includes NRL. That just includes any, in general, team sport that I follow. I've seen teams get absolutely towed up. I support the Bulldogs, for God's sake. I've watched some absolute hidings, but last night was different. Last night was just something different, and there was actually quite a few people that I saw today at work who said the exact same thing, and we all sort of said it about the same sort of time frame, about the 60-minute mark. So if you're expecting me to talk about things after 60 minutes onwards, I'm not going to be able to talk in depth. Obviously, I'll touch on the little fight, punch throwing or whatever. Reece Walsh carrying on. Not a fan of that, but I mean, it's not like we didn't exactly start it, you know what I mean? Addo Carr was being a tool. Reece Walsh followed up by being a tool as well. And, Jerome Luai's Jerome Luai. Not the Fox's finest moment. I understand, to a degree, I understand that obviously frustration has taken over and there's passion there. And I will say, some of those players, you can see that the passion is there and they want to play for the state. And for some of them, I'm not so much. Now, a lot's been said about Jerome Luai, about, his desire to play for the Blues, and obviously he had come out, and he wasn't the only one. They'd sort of come out and said that they'd supported the Maroons, and then all of a sudden they had to play for New South Wales, and I feel like this is a trend that you only see for New South Wales. Luke Keary's one, said he supported Queensland, plays for New South Wales. Jerome Luai said he supports Queensland, plays for New South Wales. Tavita Pengai Jr. said he supports Queensland, ended up playing for New South Wales. Now, we had two of them feature in this series, one of them last night. And I don't want to be this guy, and it's kind of it's controversial. I don't know whether to touch on it or not, but I'm going to do it anyways. Now, I don't know if this is a little bit of a problem in terms of state of origin, in terms of the whole, Queensland get origin, New South Wales don't, they're more passionate, all that sort of stuff. I feel like there could be an element of that is actually quite true, and it's proven in the fact that I feel like for Queensland, they play first and foremost for Queensland. For a lot of the New South Wales guys, a lot of them want to play for Samoa and Tonga. That's their first and foremost one, and then New South Wales is kind of on the back burner. Now, a lot of Australian, the guys who play for the Kangaroos, they want to play State of Origin. The Kangaroos is kind of there as a reward. I don't care really what they say. You can tell that Origin is the pinnacle, whereas I feel like for a lot of these guys, your Jerome Luais, a lot of the guys who represent Samoa and Tonga, they want to represent them, and then they kind of just want to play for New South Wales on the side. I think that kind of sort of feeds into the whole debate of allowing England players and all that sort of stuff to come in and play State of Origin, where it's where do you sort of draw the line? Because I think we're seeing right now that the passion just isn't quite there. And maybe it's just this group, maybe it's just this little bunch that we've got, but something is incredibly off with the New South Wales side, the New South Wales culture. And it wasn't something that was there when Fittler first initially came into the side, but it's definitely there now. And it could be just a matter of, the Penrith culture just doesn't work for New South Wales. And, even down to, it reminds me a little bit of when Queensland ruled majority of the Australian side, and they'd come in and they'd want to sing their, Yippee Yippee I team song, the Queensland team song, just to rub it in the New South Wales guys' faces. And I don't know if there's an element of that where all the Penrith boys, as a whole, I'm not talking about the island, I'm talking about Penrith as a whole, Nathan Cleary included, all those sort of guys, Isaiah Yeo. I don't know whether they're hey, we're the top dogs in the NRL, you're playing our style. I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know. It's we're sort of clutching at straws here, because it's hard to pinpoint why we were as bad as what we were. Obviously, like I said, it's always hard to win in Queensland. Even the best of sides have been smashed in Queensland. Teams that have won the series have gone to Queensland and been absolutely smashed. I think by no means did we think we're actually going to win this one, but it's just the fashion that we lost in it was so frustrating. It was such a nothing game, and some of the decisions by Brad Fittler, I think that's what we've all been sort of waiting for, is Brad Fittler, man, I'm ready to unleash. All right, Brad Fittler, he was a shit NRL coach. He's been a shit State of Origin coach. Get him out. It's as simple as that, honestly. It's as simple as that. I don't want to get too fired up here, but Brad Fittler, fantastic player. Being a fantastic player doesn't always translate to being a fantastic coach. We've seen that in the past. We've seen some absolutely fantastic players be good coaches. We've also seen them being absolutely horrible. And I think the fact that he actually had a stint for the Roosters, he wasn't very good. He's had stints coaching like here and there and other things, and he's never been good in that either. Even just look at some of his takes when he's on Channel 9. You can see that like some of his takes are they're a little bit whack. All of his like little methods and all that sort of stuff. It's like, how about we actually focus on getting a game plan rather than just chucking the Penrith guys? It's just lazy coaching, and I think I said this in the Game 1 video. It's lazy coaching, and it's just lazy team selection, and the team is just run like a lazy unit, you know what I mean? They just want to play as Penrith 2.0 with a different jersey, chucking a couple of players here and there, and you know what? Who cares about whether, this structure actually works for the players you're picking or whether the players fit the structure? Like, if you're going to play Panther ball, pick players who suit the system. Penrith have actually shown that they can do a job in the NRL, but I mean it's never cut the mustard State of Origin level. You've got guys who are past their welcome. Let's look at James Tedesco, guys like that. You've got guys who you keep playing over. Stephen Crichton. I like Stephen Crichton. He signed for my Bulldogs. He hasn't particularly done anything wrong, but you have Campbell Graham, who's the form guy going into the series. He was like the next in line. Then all of a sudden that position becomes available, and I know he pulled out of the first game, but there's no excuses for game 2. Like, it's not like Crichton played outstanding or anything. He was kind of serviceable. Campbell Graham's got to come in. He's got to come in. And what does that say to your guys who are, your 18th man, 19th man? On one hand, Brad Fittler uses that as a reason why he should pick guys. He goes, he's been around the I was going to say the club, but he's been around the system for a little bit. We bring him in. Then you have a guy like Nico Hines who has been around the system. You think he's next in line, doesn't get picked. So who are you going to go with? You're going to go with Adam Reynolds, Cody Walker? What sort of combo are you going to go with? No, we're going to go with Mitchell Moses, a guy who also hasn't done anything. And this is not a knock on Mitchell Moses because I thought he was actually really good. And quite frankly, I thought he played better than what Nathan Cleary has for quite some time. I think if you chuck in Mitchell Moses last night into any of the New South Wales series win, I think we talk about Mitchell Moses as being some absolute weapon. Just the fact that he had nothing. No go forward, no momentum, no real opportunities for Mitchell Moses, but he did show little glimpses. He showed that he was willing to take a risk. He had a halves partner who played erratic and he was trying to big dog Queensland, but it's like, You can't do that, man. Even down at the end, Draylen Wise laughing like a madman and all that sort of stuff. It's like he thinks that the NRL form and the NRL success means absolutely anything in the State of Origin arena. How many players have you seen play like shit for NRL level and they just step up a gear in State of Origin, and mainly and predominantly and pretty much only that happens in Queensland? But it just shows you that the NRL and State of Origin are two different levels, and either you have it or you don't. And, picking Isaiah Yeo and leaving Cameron Murray on the bench for 50 minutes or so. Do you want to get me started on Damien Cook? Let's get started on Damien Cook. He's named to start. He then gets moved to the bench for a rookie. Then Tom Trbojevic goes down the first couple of minutes. Naturally, there's no utility on the bench, which every man and their dog said that was going to be a problem. And once again, it was a problem, much like Game 1. It just shows Fittler and just how much of an imbecile he is as a coach. And that's the honest truth. Blind Freddie, which is ironic that Freddie is in the name, could tell you that you should probably have a utility on the bench. Maybe a Matt Burton. Maybe a Matt Burton would be quite useful in a situation like this. It's almost like a centre has gone down injured in both games, and both of them have been costly. People going down. First one in Game 1, Nico Hines comes on. We lose the game, arguably, due to him being out of position and never played that position before. So what happens in Game 2? Oh my God, let's chuck Cameron Murray. No, let's not chuck Cam Murray in the centres. Let's put a hooker, never played there before. Does that sound familiar? Let's chuck another guy who's never played that position into the centres. Yeah, like that. That's real smart. That's real smart. Let's go away from things that you've done in the past or some things that actually make some logical sense. Like, hey, maybe a second rower. They kind of defend in a similar spot. Let's just push him out like one or two more. or a guy like Kevin Murray who's actually defended in the centres, and I think may have done it for New South Wales in the past. Like, you leave him on there, like, I don't understand. And plus, they bring him on once the game's pretty much done. And then it doesn't matter if he has an impact or not. They did this in game 1 too, where they brought him on, as well as Liam Martin. But these guys, they came on and, like, changed the game. But also, the game, like, they shouldn't have had to change the game. They should have been on from the start. They wouldn't have to come on as game changers and game breakers. They should have just been there from the start, and we would have been, taking it to Queensland. But, Fittler actually... They got to the break, and like the scoreline wasn't too bad. It really flattered New South Wales, in my opinion. And New South Wales, let's put it this way too. It's not like Queensland came out and they were just all over New South Wales and they were scoring tries left, right, and centre. New South Wales, I think, I'm not sure what possession says, but just the general feel of the game is that New South Wales had all the chances, provided absolutely nothing, no chances, lots of sloppy passes, lots of stupid passes, lots of stupid plays, lots of stupid decisions, and that was for the full 80. You often talk about teams that, do it for the whole 80. New South Wales took that quite literally and decided to play like shit for the whole 80. But my point in all of this is that New South Wales actually had so many opportunities and couldn't convert anything. And then even the try that they scored was just like it was a bit arsey, like the ball kind of sort of hit the deck and Damien Cook just pinned the ears back and went through. Like it wasn't some set play or anything like that. And also, how are you going to run set plays when you move one centre to the other side, then you chuck a hooker into where he was, or to replace one position? So, look, if anything, this series has kind of just proven what everyone thought about Brad Fittler and what everyone kind of thought about New South Wales in general in terms of they don't get State of Origin. And I, for one, have sat here and I've stewed over and I went, no, New South Wales, we do get State of Origin. And then I realised, yeah, the fans get State of Origin. The coaching staff doesn't. The people who run the actual New South Wales Blues don't get it, and maybe the players don't necessarily get it as well, which it is quite disappointing, but it's just a reality of the situation. Queensland have proven that they are willing to make tough decisions. They're willing to get rid of people. They're willing to, put people in charge. You need to be in charge and, play a good style of footy, play a style of footy that suits them, and just be positive in general. Meanwhile, we have New South Wales who just want to replicate an NRL side, who, even at the moment, they've been pretty hot and cold this year. But, it's crazy to me that Mitchell Moses came in and he looked like one of the better players in the side. And he was replacing the guy who's been talked about as being the best player in the game. Like, it's just crazy to me. And I wish I wasn't sitting here doing this sort of video. But also at the same time, I'm kind of glad too, because after game 1, I said if New South Wales is going to come out and lose, they need to lose well, and that's exactly what they did. It's ironic that I'm saying they lose well when they lost really, really poorly, but by well, I mean that they lost by a lot. Enough that, they hit on Brad Fittler. Brad Fittler's got to go. How he survives this series, I don't know. I don't think he does. I don't know who replaces him. I don't particularly care at this point. We've seen enough of Brad Fittler. We just need something different. Watch New South Wales go out and bring in Ivan Cleary or someone. It'd be so fitting of New South Wales, but... look, I could rant all day. I could spend a lot of time ranting about this, and that's what this video has become. It's become quite ranty. It was why New South Wales lost. I think we all kind of know why they lost. Just no direction, no attack. Defense was sloppy, and just bad errors. And then Queensland capitalizes on the actual few chances they had. They didn't create like a whole bunch of chances, but the ones they did, they took with two hands. So look, credit to Queensland. Can't take that away from them. They were a fantastic side. They have a lot of talented players. A couple of years back, we're talking about New South Wales being a bit of a dynasty. Looks like Queensland might be onto something here. Oh, that sounds nice. It sounds exactly what we need. New South Wales on the receiving end of more hidings from Queensland. But look, on to bigger and worse things in Game 3. Probably going to be an annihilation, but it's in New South Wales, so we never know. Hopefully we see a changing of the guard, and hopefully we see something a little bit better. But guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hopefully you did enjoy this one despite it being ranty. If you can, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on it, or if you haven't already, leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'm on the road for 15,000 subscribers. Normally I do this little shtick at the start of the video, but yeah, I'm on the road for 15,000 subscribers. If you can go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be very much appreciated. And obviously the more likes, the better. It sort of translate into more views, so it really helped me out if you can go ahead and do that. Also, shout out to everybody who's become a member. Like, speaking of helping me and helping the channel, these guys have been helping out massively. Also, the super chatters as well. Sporty Man's been going off. Techno had a lot of familiar faces just absolutely going off. Also, seen some newbies as well. So, shout out to everybody who's left super chats and become a member. It really means a lot to me, and I genuinely mean that. So thank you to everybody who's done that. Also, if you'd like to follow me on social media, it's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Lick on YT. Look, I'll sort of keep it short. Just give me a follow. Instagram, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. And look, hopefully I don't have to make this sort of video in Game 3, but I suspect I will. But look, we'll save it for that one. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous.